Think about your average Tuesday. You wake up, you check your phone, you sit at a desk for 8 hours, you eat food you did not grow, you fall asleep in a building you did not build. Now here is the question that should stop you cold. What did the version of you that lived 50,000 years ago actually do all day? The answer is going to change how you see almost everything. Anthropologist Marshall Solins studied the last remaining hunter-gatherer societies. What he found was so counterintuitive that researchers resisted it for decades. Hunter-gatherers worked between 3 and 5 hours a day to meet all of their survival needs. Not 8 hours. 3 to 5. Solins called this the original affluent society. Your ancient ancestors had an enormous surplus of time. So what did they do with it? They slept. More than you do. Anthropologist Jerome Siegel studied sleep in modern hunter-gatherer communities in Tanzania and Bolivia. Without alarm clocks or artificial light, they slept up to 8.5 hours a night. They napped. They rested without guilt. Stillness was not laziness. Stillness was survival logic. They talked. Constantly. Evolutionary psychologist Robin Dunbar found that as much as 65% of all human conversation is devoted to social information. Who is trustworthy? Who behaved badly? Who knows where the water is? Your ancestors gossiped for hours every day. That was not small talk. That was the original internet. Social information kept them alive. They played. They made music. Bone flutes found across Europe date back 40,000 years. Someone sat down and made an instrument not because they needed to, but because they wanted to hear something beautiful. Archaeologist Stephen Mithen argued that music was not a luxury. Music synchronized groups, built trust, coordinated emotion. A community that sings together survives together. They made art. The cave paintings at Lascaux. The ochre designs at Blombos Cave in South Africa dating back 75,000 years. Beads, carvings, personal ornaments on every inhabited continent. These were not accidents. Your ancient brain did not switch off its need to create just because conditions were hard. They cared for each other. Paleopathologist Eric Trinkhaus analyzed ancient skeletal remains and found healed injuries everywhere. Broken bones carefully set and allowed to mend. Individuals who had survived wounds that made them dependent on others for months. Someone fed them. Someone stayed. You did not survive 300,000 years through individual toughness. You survived through daily radical care for one another. So here is the honest summary of an ancient human day. A few hours of food gathering, hours of talking and laughing, time spent making things, playing, resting, watching the sky, caring for the people around them, a short sleep after dark, and an entire life lived inside a community of people who knew each other completely. Now think about your Tuesday again. You woke up alone or near a stranger. You spent most of your hours in a building full of people you do not know deeply. You completed tasks assigned by someone else. You ate food whose origin you cannot name. You did not watch the sky once. You did not touch soil. And somewhere in your chest, especially on the gray afternoons, there is a feeling you might call restlessness. A vague sense that something is missing and you cannot name what it is. You know what that feeling is now. It is your 300,000-year-old brain looking around at your Tuesday and quietly asking, where is everyone? Why are we inside? And when do we get to rest? Your Tuesday is extraordinary by every historical standard, and somehow it still feels like something is wrong. That is not a modern failure. That is ancient data. And it has been trying to tell you something for a very long time.